No one is illegal on stolen land. We are not speaking emotionally. I'm speaking legally and historically. Europeans did not arrive here as citizens. They did not arrive with permission. They arrived as foreigners crossing oceans into sovereign indigenous territories. By every standard they would later invent, they came illegally. Indigenous nations governed these lands through recognized legal systems, not based on paper, but on councils, treaties, kinship law, land stewardship, and intertribal diplomacy. Law does not require ink to exist. Writing is a technology, not a measure of civilization. Europeans knew this, yet deliberately dismissed indigenous law because it stood in the way of land theft. The very Europeans who claimed native peoples had no law came from societies that did not recognize birthright citizenship. In Europe, citizenship historically followed jus sanguinis, blood, ancestry, lineage. You belonged where your people belonged. A German born in France was not French. An Englishman born abroad was still English. Soil did not define belonging, blood did. But when Europeans seized indigenous land, that system no longer benefited them. So they changed the rules. In the Americas, colonial governments and later the United States strategically adopted jus soli, citizenship by soil, and not because it was morally superior, but because it converted occupation into legitimacy. It transformed the invaders' children into natives of stolen land, erasing the fact that indigenous nations still existed. Through laws like the Homestead Act, the U.S. government gave away millions of acres of indigenous land to white European males. And here is the part that destroys modern anti-immigrant arguments. You did not have to be a U.S. citizen to receive native land. The law explicitly allowed land grants to people who merely declared an intent to become citizens. That means vast amounts of indigenous land were handed to non-citizens, foreigners by definition, while indigenous peoples were being confined, removed, or killed. Our birthright citizenship was embraced only when it benefited white European settlers. Land grants were given to foreigners on indigenous soil. Borders were drawn after conquest, not before. Now the same system that legalized invasion pretends to care about legality. When we say no one is illegal on stolen land, we are not